Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome. My name is Jessica Compton. I'm the founder and director of Tree of Stars, promoting mental health and addiction recovery by telling our story through music, art, and wellness resources. This evening, I'm super excited to announce that we are going to have guest number 470, and his name is Carlton. So hopefully I've said that right. I'm super excited to connect here and dive into these amazing conversations. I know I only hop on here from, anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes. And if there's anybody that, I interview or have these conversations with, feel free to connect with them. Here we go. I'm just going to invite him in. There we go. Yeah, I just sent, I can see that you're here. If you want to, working there. Oh, there we go. Yay! Yay! Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. I hope I said your name right. Is it Carlton?
It's Carlson.
Okay.
Yeah, Carlson.
Um, I almost had it.
Close enough.
Uh, Thank you so much for being here. I know I have checked out your website, but I'll leave all that for later. But I'm going to pass the mic over to you, and if you want to introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
All right. How's everyone doing? My name is Carlson Henry. I'm a professional artist who's been doing artwork for over 20 years. I'm based out of Toronto, and I'm a mixed media artist, and I also do tattoos as my main revenue. But art is a thing where it's always just been in my life since right out of high school and in high school, and then I started profiting um, as a business in art and never stopped since. So I'm like a really gifted artist. I had to do no like technical schooling for it, so it's a gift that God has given me, right? And
Yeah.
I never kind of put down my my gifts. I always sharpened my tools and made sure that it was on point. So I mean, there have been a couple times um, where I wouldn't do art for or a painting for 2 or 3 years, and that's just because I realize you have to take in a lot in life to put out whatever you're taking in, right? So it never actually stopped. It's just the process is happening, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much
I,
it.
I love how you say that it's a gift because I feel like we can always look at it like that and also embrace it in so many ways and just, take that with us wherever we go and whoever we meet.
Right,
And this is, I think in the last 2 years as well, during the pandemic, I think that, artists have had to really, and as well as musicians, just really, really navigate the social media, push the websites, push the Shopify, just because the galleries they weren't, open and people weren't exchanging, different art in different galleries. So it's been really tough. And I guess this is where we can get in. So there is two parts to this question: is sharing your own mental health and addictions, and some people don't experience that, but you're and that is optional. And the other piece is the pandemic. We just touched on that a little bit, but your experiences throughout that.
well, mental health and addictions. I have a lot to talk about that because um, like I came from a rough neighborhood and mental health, I was abused a bit as a as a teenager. So, it had a big effect on my, mental health and the way I think, and it made me more introverted and shy at my younger ages. But as business through art just gradually progressed, I was able to just shy out of that and be very outspoken and all of that, right? Like, I feel like talking to people is almost like I'm talking to I'm talking to somebody where I can get answers for questions on both ends, and we could always come to like more understanding and raising our understanding about life and so forth, just very so that and with the pandemic, um, oh, sorry, addictions you talked about, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I recently stopped smoking, drinking, doing all of those um, things that would make me calm down after me getting agitated or really mad or angry or me just getting frustrated about bills and so forth. Like, um, because for the past, I don't know, I would say since 16 to up to, I'm 37 now, so up to like 35, I've been in and out of addictions, you know,
Yeah.
and it's been hard for me. It's like a real battle, and for me to like you know, stop the things that I'm really addicted to, and then get into a better path in life. Because once I'm on a good path, and I get come to like some type of like hurdle I can't cross, that's kind of scary or whatever the case is, I go back to the addictions to like to try and rebuttal. But what happens is going back is only gonna set me further back.
Yeah.
So it's that hurdle you have to jump and say you don't need the weed or the alcohol or the cigarettes or whatever you're doing to like pass this stage. Just use your own like inner strength to surpass it, or just sleep on it and then wake up because you're always renewed once you sleep mentally, physically, emotionally. That's like metaphysically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are the best suggestions I give to people who are at that trying to stop. They get at a hurdle and then they just want to go back, but it's just that that little second, like if you didn't do it where you could have been, but you'll
Yeah.
never know because you went back. So I did that. I did that for a whole year and a half, and up to now I'm clean of everything, and that has propelled me into such a knowing of myself even more greater than ever. Like take for instance, if you compare the last 5 years to me finding more out about who I am and what I like and what I don't like, and just more about myself every way, shape and
Mm-hmm.
form, compared to like this 1 year and a half since I've been clean off everything. I've learned more about myself than in those 5 years learning about myself. And that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because I'm more clear, I have more clear knowledge, I have more clarity to like ask questions to my creator and get answers. You know what I mean?
For
Um,
sure.
yeah, but the numbers are the answers don't come like in your whispers in your ear. They come through codes. They come through just natural things that will happen. Phone calls. Just okay, you wish for something, and next thing you know, something else happens. Or I get signs through quotes, numerology. So that's and numerology pertains to the universal language, which is numbers, coding, zero binary codes, which is zeros and ones, the computer codes. That's the universal language, right?
Mm-hmm.
So angels can talk to you. If you look up like angel numbers 111, 222, 333, 444, there's a whole like encyclopedia of information that you can look up to actually understand what these numbers are trying to tell you and what they mean and what type of angels are protecting you or talking to you or anything like that. So you would only have to be in the experience that I went through to know what I'm talking about. There's no way you can like um, have any type of alteration, drugs that alter your natural self and know this and feel what I'm going through
Mm-hmm.
unless you're completely clear, right? So
Yeah.
that's the answer for the mental health and addiction. So your other question with was the other question you asked
I
about?
think just with the pandemic, I know like we were saying about the artists and with galleries and whatnot. So it's been tough, right?
Um, I I beg to differ. For me, it's been an amazing journey since the pandemic hit. It's sad to say that everyone around me is feeling the total opposite, most generally speaking, as like most everyone's is just like complaining and this and that. They can't go out, they can't go socialize. They're like stuck at home. They got to deal with kids on online, and you know it's horrible. Teachers are getting fired and firing themselves because they can't handle the pressure of parents listening in on their on their activities to teach the children. There's just so much going on with the pandemic around that it's either going to bring you real down, even worse, or if you are a person who just like wants to do your own thing and just not let anything any other elements affect you, to just focus, and it'll actually set you set these two apart. The negative go negativer and the positive go much more positive state of mind. And that's what happens. It's just that pull right now. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? This is a natural, just like the nature of things. Wherever there's a polarity, they're gonna naturally go like this. So the people who are in bad, negative spaces, they go worse because they pay attention to all the things that are going on, all the negativity that's happening. And whatever you think is whatever you take in is what you put out. So if you take in positivity, you're gonna get put out positivity. If you think positive, you get, and that's how it works. That's just a natural way of our thought process and as humans how we are. So I was able to propel the other way. I was able to get grants for art, and I was able to invest in a shop in Toronto and open my own first independent personal studio where I can do tattoos, paintings, um, you name it. Just think, bring people in, be creative, get ideas, get inspiration, all of that. Like, it's so it's almost like a miracle for me. Like this year and a half has been one of the most amazing times in my life,
Yeah.
despite the problems, of course.
For
You
sure.
know,
And I think that, even just by having these conversations about, all of your knowledge and all of your heartful moments, I think people can feed off of that energy and be like, you know what, this guy's inspiring me. I want to go check him out. And I guess this is where your social media platforms come in, because I know your website's in your bio. So, where else can people find you, or even if you want to do a
um,
shout out to your website, anything like that?
well, I'm more active on my Instagram channel. I just pay attention. I mean, there's Facebook. There's so many different social medias. I pay attention just as one of them because I'm really good at just focusing on one avenue for people to come on and off for. So I have my website for people who want to order online, any print editions or originals. But I notice people like to meet the artists in person before they go and purchase anything. So I like to do, like, I have my first independent art show coming up on March 13th. So of this month, which is this Sunday coming, 6:30 p.m. But if they want to see my progress on what I'm doing, they can always look on this channel. Stroke of Genius on Instagram, Stroke of Genius 53. And if they want to see my tattoos, they can always go to Ready for Ink. Um, See, with the tattoos, I enjoy tattoos because it gives me a lot of I get to spend long periods of time with my clients. And to begin with, they need me on a deep level because they're getting deep tattooed. People get tattoos for deep emotional reasons. So
Hmm.
they're coming to me and be like, "Oh, I want an RIP for my father," or whatever the case is. And then they get right as soon as they're meeting me, we're on a level. We're on a trustworthy level here. So, and then you're spending like 6, 7, 12, 15, 20 hours at a time with this person and months at a time. And then and then you got 150 clients,
Yeah.
so you're gonna get a lot of knowledge, and
Yeah.
that's why I like doing tattoos. It's not the tattoo itself; it's it's that interaction that I get
Connection.
to, do have with people on a daily basis. And then when I get that all that knowledge and all that information I can reflect on in the nighttime, and then I express it through my artwork. I'm like, oh, that's a really good idea. I should paint that. I'll just be hold up a minute. Da 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 da. My phone back to my convo. I like to be in the present, and I follow. Well, I also have to mention another thing. Through the pandemic, and while everyone else was on the negative end, I was on the positive end. I realized in self-realization so much more about myself and my true purpose in life. And I realized it was, and through being isolated because I was by myself. I had broken up with my significant for a year and some change now. So I was alone. I could see my kids every other 2 weekends and so forth. So I had a lot of time to really reflect inward and have a lot of silence around. So that gave me a lot of self knowledge about who I am, what my purpose is in life, and I was able to discover it. And through my experiences, I was able to like write down 7 things that I went through that helped me become who I am and really evolve into who I am today, watching you, talking to you right now. So these are them, I'll tell you. They're self-discipline, clarity, no care for judgment, isolation, service, and being righteous.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
never knew. Yeah, and I practice each one. And through practicing each one, I evolve myself into a better, more positive person, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Um, After this conversation, I'm gonna share a book that I'm reading. Actually, I read a couple books. Sometimes I do a little bit of this reading and a little bit of this, but there is a section in there where just to do a nightly self-reflect. And I know some people do gratitude journals,
Mhm.
and your list kind of reminds me of that daily reflection on what did I learn today and what did if it was giving back to ourselves or somebody else, that self-reflect. So yeah, those are some awesome points. And I think that has to do with, maybe even like you mentioned, just not, I guess you use the word clean, being clean and having that perspective that, okay, I could be on a Ferris wheel, but when I'm at the bottom of the Ferris wheel, what am I going to do with that? Because we're human. We're gonna feel happy and sad, and there's moments. And I think that when we do these things sober or clean or whatever vocabulary people use, we dive deeper into ourselves, and it can be scary, but it can also be so embracing in different ways. And I think your art,
Exactly.
I've got my whole back tattooed. And yeah, connecting with somebody for 4 hours on a Saturday and then the next Saturday another 4 hours, you're like, man, you know what's going on in my life because when you talk to somebody for 8 hours.
Otherwise, it's just who wants to be silent for 3.5 hours? You're gonna get to talking. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure. If we were to ask you, what your top three self-care practices where you're like, I need to do these things,
hmm
or else I'm not going to be okay. And if you've got more than three, that's okay. If you want to share with us.
Number one, stretch. I'm not gonna be okay if I don't stretch and work out. Like in the morning, my body cramps up. So if I don't stretch it out, do a little yoga positions and do some like type of just a couple push-ups, couple sit-ups, I feel like my body won't be able to carry itself throughout the day and the next days to come. So
Mm,
that's number one. Number two is meditate. Like I always take a second or like 5 minutes just to relax and just don't listen to anything and just kind of like ask myself, just be silent and talk to myself mentally and just don't open my mouth, close my eyes and just relax like this. Just relax, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
at least that 5 minutes gives me enough to talk to myself, be with myself. Because the minute I flip open my phone, it's right beside me.
Yeah.
It's constant. I'm talking 3 hours nonstop in the morning. I got 5 DMs going on. I got people coming over, starting tattoos at 12 p.m. I gotta get up. I gotta shower. I gotta do this. I got the kids calling. It's a mess, right?
Chaos. Yeah.
So you need some time every time just for yourself. And in the nighttime, you also have to have that. In the day
Yep.
and the night, it's nice to do. It's nice to do it because it's like, say, hey, how's it going, myself, and then hey, good night to myself. You know, you bring it back
Decompress.
to yourself all the time because you're always, putting out for everyone else.
Hmm.
You know, and number three, what was the question again? Repeat it.
Three self-care practices. I know for me, I gotta have water. Like I'm water, water, water.
I hate the taste of water. It's tasteless, but I don't like. But I try. I force myself to drink it because I know it's good for my body.
You know
You
what?
know.
I challenge you to drink 3 liters a day for 5 days. And even with my skin, I'm like, oh, I have been drinking water. Like it
Yeah.
just, yeah, there's just something about water.
What did you say? 3 bottles a day, 3 liters a day? That's
Three
like those big.
liters. So here, I'll show you. I got a big jug here.
Hmm.
And this one here is on Amazon. It actually tells you by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, it tells you to drink. And I can't for the life of me get to the 4 liters, but um, you know, uh, yeah, it's a
Definitely.
lot of water.
I'll accept your challenge, and I'll let you know that I can do that, and I will feel better because I've done the challenge for all water challenge for 28 days.
Nice. It's more work going to the washroom, really.
Oh my God, you don't know how crazy I felt. Like I was putting spices in my water. Like I was putting all types of anything to taste something. I was just like, because I only did teas, coffees, and waters. Any liquids, no juices, no none, just teas, coffees, and waters. The 28
Hmm.
days, and I was on a. It actually was a time when I was 31 years old, and I decided to go. Like I was like um free of any alcohol, drugs, or anything. I was just totally sober. And at that point, I seen somebody who was training Michael Jackson, um, telling him about this water fast. And so I'm like, let me try this. And then I tried it. And I'm not gonna lie, I got up every morning 5 o'clock and went to sleep every night at 2 a.m. Like I got 4 hours sleep. I was so energized. I'm telling you, I had to do push-ups. I had to do this. I had to keep moving all the time. You get so energized just off water. I couldn't believe it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, you eat those heavy foods, you eat a nice meal that really tastes good on your taste buds, it's gonna hit you. You're gonna sleep. You're gonna be knocked out for 4 hours. If you start at 2 p.m., you're gonna be knocked out to 6 p.m. waking up and be like, wait, it's 9 in the morning.
Yep. Yeah, I
Eating,
well my partner, she's vegan and even just trying those challenges of not having I have another friend, she doesn't eat pork and so I think just these different challenges or lifestyles, like just to try it and see how you feel. I don't know anybody who feels great after having McDonald's. Eating some bananas or fruits, we always feel so good. So I think it's a good encouragement for any of us to say, how's your water intake or how's your sleep or
yeah,
how's your conversations with friends,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I guess we do have a closing question for you, and this has been a
Yeah.
really amazing conversation. But before I ask that last question, I always like to kind of give it like as an open mic. If there's anything that you want to promote or share or anything like that, I know you said you've got a show coming up this Sunday, but yeah, and we will share your website link when we share this interview to our story. But if there's anything that you want to share before we ask the last question.
Well, I just want to share. I want to share my like. I'm basically a witness. I'm basically an example of how someone can change their life from bad to good and go from having addictions to not having any through sheer strength and discipline. And and the only way I feel like you could find that is through finding purpose. And if you are twirling around in the nonsense that you're always waking up in that grudged feeling, then there's a way if there's a will. You know, you just have to have the will in your heart to like want the change. And I always want to preach this to anybody and everybody that I come across who needs it. I give advice for free because I'm full of it. I'm full of a lot of um, interesting knowledge that people can learn from because I have a lot of experience. I'm only 37, but I've talked to a lot of people, and through that, I love to give my experiences as my utmost um, basically what I want to. If you have a problem, I'll give you an honest answer. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
yeah, I don't hold back. You know, a lot of people they're scared. You know, and they have these walls built up around them from past experiences of all the traumatics that they've been through, and they're scared to like open up. But I feel like when you actually talk to somebody about them, you start coming off your shoulders and the weight's been lifted. You can walk freely, and you can think freely, or you can be freely. And all those things that are always on your mind and you don't talk about them, they're always going to keep cycling in your mind day by day by day. And when that negative energy is in your mind all the time, you're not able to actually bounce out of into a positive state of mind because your mind is what controls your body, and your mind controls your whole existence of your whatever you who you are, your characteristics, everything. It starts with your mind. So if you want to change your life, I always say attack the mind. Attack the thing that's attacking your mind. Put yourself in the driver's seat of your mind. If you find you're in a negative situation and you're thinking some bad thoughts, which are maybe not yours, they're coming in because um, you're on a certain level of somebody else's wavelength that they're coming in, thoughts are coming in your mind now. You gotta recognize that and say, hey, why am I thinking this? And then be
Yeah.
like, does this serve me in my purpose in life? Does this serve me today? And if it doesn't, you just put yourself in the driver's seat of your mind.
Hmm.
And then you
Yeah.
can control and be like, knock it out. Let's go on to the next one. Let's do something that's gonna serve me. You know what I mean? If something pops up. So that's my
Well,
suggestion to everyone.
I was just gonna say that's awesome, and I know that you meditate because when anytime I do the meditation, they're teaching us, these instructors are teaching us like, okay, now that your mind's wandering, come back. Now it's wandering, come back, and it's always about breath. And then once you get that 15 minutes feeling of meditation, you can even go further and further. And there's all these books, and it's the practice.
It's
People
the
don't just
practice.
wake up. It you have to,
You have
yeah,
you have to practice.
for sure.
Practice makes improvement, not perfect. Just improvement. No,
Yeah,
there's no such thing as perfect,
I
but
love
you
it. I
will.
love it. You know what? I think I'm not sure if how I came across you. You were in my news feed, and I'm like, I gotta talk to this guy. Um, and so I am gonna close up because I don't like to take a guest's
Oh,
time. I do value your time 100%. So, and you kind of just touched a little bit of our closing question, but freely answer. With so many people struggling and suffering out there, we just ask for a message of hope. If it's like a sentence or if it's a one word, anything like that. And I feel like the whole, try not to be perfect is a good example and just live our lives right. But this is all you, so the mic's on you.
I'll give you a statement. Life is all about being imperfectly perfect. Period.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I've got one more question for you. Where can I get a hat like that?
Winners.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, So I'm going to share this to our story, stay connected with you, and I always close this up with a self-care, stay safe, and just sending my love your way. And if there's anything that we can do, share any kind of events that you got going on, share it to our DM so that we can see it, and we'll share it to our story for you anytime, even if it's in 10 years from now.
By the way, this is my first actual official interview, so I want to congratulate you for being the person who gets to interview. And there will be more.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
Well, sending you a virtual hug, and hopefully we'll meet in person. And yeah, again, sending my love your way, and thank you so much.
All right, maybe I might give you a tattoo.
Yes, I'm all up for it.
All right.
All
Yeah.
right. Take care, and thank you. All right, that was awesome.